We have a lot of books to get through. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mads, and now I know I look a little bit summery today, but believe it or not, I'm going to take you through my spooky season recommendations for you, along with my spooky season TBR. So we've got books that I love and recommend, and books I'm going to read this spooky season and see if I love them. Now look, it is hot as balls today. I wish I could be wearing my thriller jumpers. These are so cute. This is my collaboration with Books with Jess, and I wear them all the time. It's too hot today, guys. So first up we have In My Thriller Era, which is what I planned to wear today, but apparently I can't because Australia went excuse you, no, it's nearly summer. And then we have The Deadly Occupants, which is so freaking cool. Paranormal Read Society. I'm gonna put them there. Just pretend that I'm wearing these sweaters, okay? You can go purchase them from Books with Jess. It is linked down below. Now, really quickly before we dive into this video, maybe none of you are wondering why I have a book merch collection with Books with Jess and what the Deadly Occupants one is. Haha. I wrote a book, a paranormal thriller book that is Pretty Little Liars meets Paranormal Activity, and a book that you need to, I literally beg, it is a necessity. You need to put it on your spooky season TBR because this is perfect for Halloween. Literally perfect. 4 college girls go to a haunted house tour on Halloween night. They end up actually getting attacked by a spirit in the house, and they go home to their new off-campus house to find that the thing that attacked them from the haunted house followed them home. Now they're getting haunted, and now spooky shit is happening. It is a book that you probably should not read at nighttime. It will scare you. And it is on Kindle Unlimited. And literally, like, when I say it's perfect for spooky season, I truly mean it. This is the perfect time to pick this book up, and you can get this stunning cover off of Amazon now. If you've already read Deadly Occupants and you're like, Matt, I need more recommendations that are similar to this, I've got you. It is in the list. But if you love Deadly Occupants, well, first of all, if you love Deadly Occupants, go check out the sweater from Books with Jess. But, and I don't think I'm allowed to be announcing this, but I'm just gonna do it. Keep your eyes peeled and follow me on Instagram if you're not already, because there may or may not be another edition coming out that I've been working on with some other people. Okay, now we're getting into the recommendation part. Let's go. First up we have The Haunting by Natasha Preston. Perfection for spooky season. There was a serial unaliver in their small town last year that went on a rampage. Think Scream slasher vibes last year during Halloween. He's locked away in prison. They caught the killer. Now this Halloween everyone's a bit on edge, but everyone's like, okay, we get to celebrate Halloween this year. Haha. You think so? You think so? No, not today, bitch. They didn't get the right serial killer. So The Haunting is small town, takes place in Halloween. There also is like corn mazes, haunted houses. Like, this gives the vibes for Halloween. I reread it every Halloween. I've reread it last year, and I read it for the first time the year prior. And you best believe I'm going to be rereading it this spooky season. Then next up we have Someone Is Always Watching by Kelly Armstrong. This is so good. I never see this or hear about it anywhere online. I don't understand why it doesn't have more hype, because it truly deserves it. This gives Don't Worry Darling the movie vibes, in the sense of, you know, something is going on. Like, it's a psychological thriller and you're like, what the hell is happening? You can't pinpoint it, you can't put your finger on it, and then when it happens it's like, oh, like, oh, we're taking this direction. It is really good. Very fast paced too. Then next up we have That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. I love this book. You think you know what is happening, and then the plot twist happens and you did not know what was happening at all, and then suddenly you're reading it, staying up until 2 AM to finish it because it's that gripping, that addicting, and then you're sobbing. You're literally sobbing at the end of a thriller book. She wakes up bruised, battered on the side of the road. She has no memory whatsoever. She doesn't remember her name. She doesn't remember how she got there. She doesn't remember why she's even injured. The police are actually driving by and they spot her. She goes to the police station, then all of a sudden a man comes in. He's got photo ID, her passport, photos of them growing up, and he's claiming that he is her father. Read it to find out if he is or isn't. Then next up we have A Local Woman Missing. This is just a really good suspense thriller. 2 women go missing in this town. Oh, it's just about their disappearance and like finding out what happened to them. And honestly, I kind of went into this and reading it, I was like, this is kind of just like a normal, oh, someone's missing, like disappearance, thriller. Yeah, no. Then I got to the end and to the plot twist and I was like, wow, I want to go back and reread it to see how the hell I missed that, because what do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, we're getting to my favorites. I'm rereading this book. I'm rereading it. I love it. I just read it 2 months ago and I'm already going to reread it this spooky season. And that is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. This is phenomenal. Genuinely phenomenal. I don't know why I don't see it more online. I personally found it through Goodreads, like lists and everything and people's recommendations. I just don't know why I don't see it online. So The Sundown Motel, there is 2 perspectives. First, we have a woman in 1982, Viv Delaney, and then we have 35 years later, and it is her niece. This is where it gets a bit complicated to just explain it. The niece's mother passes away, and she, growing up, always asked, like, what happened to my aunt? She went missing. No one ever found her body. Like, why do we not talk about an aunt that just randomly went missing at the time where there was a serial unaliver where she was working? And she's like, obviously the serial unaliver got her, we just don't know where her body is. I don't want to talk about it, don't want to talk about it. One of those people that deals with grief by going, no. Then the mother passes away, sadly, by cancer, and she's like riddled with grief, and she goes, you know what, I'm gonna go get answers. So she goes to the Sundown Motel where her aunt disappeared from where she was working. She was working the night shift, and funnily enough, the night shift position is available. So she starts working there right where her aunt went missing. And you get the perspective of what's happening now, where the niece is trying to uncover what happened, and the perspective of what actually happened 35 years ago. And it's just phenomenal. There is massive paranormal play here. So you've got dual perspective. You've got dual perspective, you have a serial unaliver, and you also have paranormal spooky elements. It is genuinely the best book for spooky season. If you take any recommendation from this video, it is these 2, because these 2 are my favorite. The Sundown Motel and Hidden Pictures. Oh my god, I'm gonna do a reread this spooky season because it is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So basically, Mallory gets sober. And I love that because I'm also a sober girly. She's been sober for nearly 2 years, and she starts nannying for this 5-year-old little child. And she's living there. She's living in like the cottage outside, like a little granny flat outside of the house. And it's going like fine and dandy until the child starts drawing incredibly creepy pictures. And you best believe that this book had... I'm not going to show that because that's going to spoil it. Has the drawings of the creepy pictures, and they get more sinister as time goes on, and that's all I'm going to say. There's paranormal aspects, but the plot twist of this book, mind blown. Did not see it coming. Then next up we have Ask for Andrea by Noelle, and this is on Kindle Unlimited. I believe it still is on Kindle Unlimited. It could be getting traditionally published, it might not be on there, so quickly run and download her. Ask for Andrea follows 3 women that are killed by a serial unaliver, and we get the perspectives of them once they are murdered, and one of them actually haunts the serial unaliver, and then there's like an ending that I don't really want to say, but it's really cool. It is the perspective of the people who have passed and they're haunting their serial unaliver, and that is just, we love that. Female revenge. Love it. Then we have Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. Personally, this is my favorite Riley Sager book. I also recommend The House Across the Lake by him. These are just his 2 best books in my personal opinion. Keyword being personal and opinion. So Home Before Dark is so freaking cool. It is 25 years ago, Maggie Holt and her family fled a Victorian house in the middle of the night because it was so filled with hauntings and paranormal stuff. She was, I believe, 5 or 6 years old. She doesn't have any memories of what happened, but her father went on to write a New York Times best-selling novel of their experience and encounters in the house, and it just went absolutely viral. And then on her father's deathbed, she inherits the house when he passes, and she's like, you have told me to never once step foot in this house because it's so dangerous for me. So what does this dumb bitch do? Of course she goes to the house and sees if it actually is haunted, because she wants to know if her father was a liar or not. In this book, you get the perspective now of Maggie Holt trying to figure out if it is haunted, and the perspective 25 years ago from the lens of the New York Times best-selling novel her father wrote, and it is so freaking good. Then The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager is, she has suffered a great loss. She's mourning her late husband. She goes to the lake that they went to every summer. I believe it was every summer. They just went, this was their lake that they went to, and she's grieving, and she kind of buys binoculars and starts spying on her neighbors, and that's when she notices that one of the houses in particular, there's a bit of some dodgy shit going on, to be honest. And then the wife goes missing on the house that she was spying on, and she's like, what is happening? Anyways, the plot twist actually really gagged me in the sense of I was shocked. I personally wish going in that I knew that there was paranormal elements to this book, so I'm going to tell you that. Then next up we have The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. This is my favorite Frida McFadden book, hands down. I think this one's really slept on because it came out recently. I read this in one sitting. I sat on my couch and my ass did not get off of it until I finished this book. It is so good. You think you know what is happening, you do not. It is a true Frida McFadden fashion. She's looking for the perfect man and he's looking for the perfect victim. In New York, there is a serial unaliver on the loose who is picking his victims through dating apps. And what does this main protagonist, dumb bitch, do? She downloads a damn dating app. Now, you think you're like, okay, well, he's gonna come in, he's gonna date her, he's gonna kill. No. You have no idea the direction this book is heading, but you need to, and you're going to find out because you're going to read it this spooky season. Then next up, we have Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. This is gruesome. This is really, really gruesome. And usually, when I hear that something's gruesome, I'm like, yeah, that I'm fine. No, when I was reading this and I was listening to it on audiobook, it's gruesome. Like when I say gruesome, I mean gruesome and detailed. And there's sometimes I had to pause it and I was like, okay, because the heavy topics that happen in this and the heavy themes are just, genuinely there is no words for me to even describe it. And I also feel like I can't tell you because it will give it away. So if you personally have triggers, Google the trigger warnings of this book before even thinking about picking it up. But basically, there's a missing girl, a hope that's never lost, and a killer never found. Her sister was murdered, the case went cold, and then her husband got attacked and he is murdered. And then all of a sudden, there's a lot of secrets that are coming out now that her husband has passed away, and that is all I will say on the matter. Then we have Love Mom by Ilian Xander. I feel like I just butchered her name, so I do deeply apologize. This is so incredibly good. I don't know why this book is not talked about either. I listened to the audiobook. It was absolutely phenomenal. Her mother is a best-selling author, and when she passes away, she's at her funeral, and they had a tumultuous relationship. They did not have a good relationship whatsoever, but when she's at her mother's funeral, she's given a letter, and this letter is eye-opening to say the least of her mother's late secrets, and there is a murder. So Mackenzie Casper has always lived in the shadow of her famous mother, a best-selling author whose dark, twisted tales have garnered fans across the world. When her mother dies in a tragic accident, many fans are left grieving, but Mackenzie is left with more than she bargains for when investigators start asking questions. What if what happened wasn't an accident? What if it was murder? Then a mysterious envelope arrives containing pages from her mother's diary. Want to know a secret? Love Mom. And go read it! It's so good! Then next up we have Listen for the Lie, which I highly recommend you listen to on audiobook. That's what I did, and it's just, it really heightens the experience. Her best friend and her attend a wedding, and she comes to covered in her best friend's blood. Her best friend was murdered. Everyone thinks she did it. She has zero recollection. Her memory is completely gone, completely wiped. The police let her go because there's absolutely no evidence leading towards her. There's no evidence, period. Then fast forward a couple of years later, she stays away from the small town because first of all, everyone thinks she did it. She herself doesn't even know if she did it or not because she genuinely doesn't have any recollection of what happened. Then a famous crime podcaster goes to the small town to try and uncover what happened, and she returns and she actually does interviews with him, and that's what I'm going to leave it at. You really, really, really need to listen to it. Now last but certainly not least, we have Murder Road by Simone St. James. Now this is for the paranormal lovers. They're driving down a deserted road, and if you see her, you'll be next. This is giving like girl in the white dress you see on the road, and then suddenly you're gonna die next. That's all I'm going to say, because this book, like, I feel like you just need to experience the roller coaster that is this book, and that's it. Now I have another recommendation, and this is for the people that really love paranormal things and horror and are fans of like Annabelle, The Conjuring, and everything. You need to go and listen to The Exorcist House. This book, like, was watching, I literally felt like I was watching it because it was so vivid. The narrator does such a good job on the audiobook, but the writing is phenomenal. It made me feel like I was watching a Conjuring movie. It was insane, genuinely insane, and it starts right off the bat. There's no slow like, oh, you hear a knock there, and then suddenly a light is turning on, and then like 150 pages later there's suddenly a demon. No, this starts right out the get-go, and it is phenomenal. genuinely phenomenal. Now we have the books that are on my spooky season TBR, and we have a lot, so let's get through it. I like to go into books quite blind, so half of these I really don't know a lot about, so just bear with me. Starting out with the books that are on my Kindle, let's have a little look-see, because I know I have a couple but I can't even remember what I put on there. I've been storing up for spooky season for a hot minute. Okay, we have The Haunting of Maddie Clare by Simone St. James. In Simone St. James we trust. Now I'm excited, A, because hello, my name is Maddie, and it's actually spelled how I spell it, with a Y. So very excited to read that. I don't know anything besides the title, but I'm very excited. Then next we have Hell Departed. My cover designer actually designed the cover for this. I was just like on my cover designer's website and I saw it and I was like, ooh, horror on Kindle Unlimited, download. I have no idea what it's about though. That is it for my Kindle TBR. Now moving on to the physical. First we have Trespass Against Us. Belle and I bought this together at a bookstore. We are planning to do like a 24-hour readathon for like spooky season, and this is one that we decided to buddy read. There is religion in this, so it'll be interesting to see what it's about, to be honest. Oh, 2 years ago 4 friends went into the abandoned religious reform school Dominic House. Only 3 came out. I love it when books sound good. Then next up we have Signed, Sealed, Dead. Dear Paige, welcome to your new home in Shorehaven. We've been waiting for some new blood. Speaking of blood, did you know the girl who lived in this house before you was murdered? She wasn't the only one. But dead girls have secrets, Paige. So do the people in this town. Who can you trust? It's down to you to expose them, otherwise history will repeat itself. And that sounds so freaking good. Then we have Nightshade. Now Nightshade I put on here because I'm so heavily in my romance era. I know I'm still going to read romance in the month of October, but this is gothic and it gives dark vibes, and I'm like, you know what, if I'm going to read a romance book, I should start my gothic journey. And also don't forget, the books that I said I'm going to reread this spooky season are also my TBR. They're just on my floor and I don't really want to sort it right now. Then next up we have The House at Phantom Park. It is a abandoned hospital and they are going to re-amp it up and turn it into a hotel, I believe. It was a military hospital, has been abandoned for over 3 years. Now Lillian is in charge of developing it into a luxury housing complex, and paranormal spooky things start happening. The second there's any paranormal or abandoned buildings, sign me up because I am there. Then we have V.E. Schwab Gallant. I'm actually quite excited for this. I do want my first V.E. Schwab book that I read to be Gallant. If you guys see my YouTube videos, you'll see that I put this on my TBR all the time. I'm just so bad. I think I'm just kind of intimidated by V.E. Schwab's writing. However, I do think that if I'm going to read some of her books, Gallant is the best one to read, and it's best to read now. So she receives a letter from an uncle she's never met summoning her to his estate, Gallant, but when she arrives she discovers her uncle is dead and the estate is empty, save for her cousin and the servants. Gallant is a house of secret, a house sitting in lonely vigil, and also 14-year-old Olivia Pryor is missing 3 things: a mother, a father, and a voice. Her only companions are the goals she sees in her mother's journal. So there is ghosts in this, and I'm so excited. Then we have They Never Learn. I'm so excited about this one. The feminist revenge thriller we all need and deserve. So this is a female serial killer, and her hit list is, it's getting revenge. Scarlett Clark is an exceptional English professor and an even better serial killer. Her mission in life is to track down predatory men on campus, and she's preparing for her biggest murder yet. I cannot wait. Then we have The Grimrose Girls. 4 friends, 1 murder, and a dark fate that may leave them all doomed. So I do believe one of their friends is murdered. They're at a university and they're trying to uncover who murdered her friend. Then we have The Farmhouse. This is horror. Every woman who has ever lived on this farm has died and Emily has just moved in. I'm only reading to you what I have read. If I've stopped at a certain point, it's because I don't want to continue on, because I do love going into books blind. So if some of these snippets interest you and intrigue you, I'm so sorry, you're going to just have to Google to see if you want to continue and if you want to read and purchase the book. Then we have Society of Lies. This sounds phenomenal. She's going back to her college for her reunion, and her sister is also graduating that same weekend until her sister turns up dead. She believes that her sister was murdered, because then she finds out that her sister actually was in the secret society that she said for her to never join, and she thinks that the secret society murdered her. So there's secrets, lies, and there's also obviously wealthy people paying off people, and I'm just like, I'm down for the vibes. Then we have The Reformatory. This has been on my TBR for a very long time. time. Now, following a trivial scuffle with a white boy, 12-year-old Robert Steffens Jr. is sent to the Gracetown School for Boys, but this segregated reformatory is a chamber of horrors haunted by the boys that have died there. So not only is it a paranormal thriller book, but it's also very heavy hitting. It's going to be very sad. I have heard that it is quite heartbreaking. So that's the thing that has like quite pushed me off of it, because I know that it's not just a horror thriller paranormal story. It is going to be emotionally gripping, but I feel like spooky season this month is the best time to read it. Then next up we have Such Quiet Girls by Noelle. A school bus full of kids have been kidnapped. They have been taken, held hostage, and that is all I know. Been hijacked. I love Noelle's writing. I love her book, so I bought it. Then last but certainly not least, we have None Shall Sleep. I love Criminal Minds, the Natural series, anything that has FBI behavioral analysis and it's with the mind, I'm like, yes please. So None Shall Sleep, it's 1982 and the innovative FBI behavioral science section is breaking new ground. Emma Lewis and Travis Bell, two teenagers with valuable skills, are recruited to interview convicted juvenile killers for information on cold cases. When they're drawn into an active case targeting teenagers, everything starts to unravel, and it just sounds absolutely phenomenal. And that is it. Those are the spooky books that I recommend to you guys, and the spooky books that are on my TBR that I hope I like this month. Please, a kind little reminder that you guys should add Deadly Occupants to your spooky season TBR. Again, it is on Kindle Unlimited, but if you guys have already read Deadly Occupants and maybe, just maybe, you're also a romance reader, I did recently come out with Breaking Point. Breaking Point is a high emotional stakes fake dating romance book. It is on Kindle Unlimited. It is sports romance, but when I say high emotional stakes, I mean it. People get really shocked by how much they cry in this book. Her mum is battling cancer and she has to take care of her and pay for her medical bills, and Grayson has just suffered a really tragic loss in his family and he's dealing with it by drinking too much, so there is alcoholism, but it is so heavy, but the romance is so pure and just so tender, and there's so much love between these two characters. This is also in Kindle Unlimited. Maybe it can be your palate cleanser between all the horror and gore in your spooky season. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you love these recommendations. If you have recommendations for me, please let me know and comment down below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.